Loneliness is not about your relationship with other people. It's about your relationship with God. Anyway, I was really lonely and I wanted that fellowship that they had. And I wanted to drink because they were drinking with me. So I called up the counselor at the treatment center because I didn't have any people in my life yet. And I said, I want to drink. And he said, why? And I said, well, I'm watching this movie and there's these women drinking. And it just triggered me. And he said, honey, you're not triggered. He said, and you don't really want to drink. What you really want is the fellowship.
When the craving hits, what are you actually hungry for? I'm your host, Colleen Akiko, with Karen Lindsley. In this third episode of the series, A Fearlessly Feral Life, we get practical. Willingness, boundaries, and the difference between a trigger and a longing for belonging. These are all things we talk about, including family dynamics, codependency, and the courage to choose community and peace over addiction. Thanks for joining us. I love your, what did you call it?
Spiritual psychology.
Spiritual psychology?
And Ernest Holmes actually called our teaching that. So
Yeah.
I feel validated in calling it that. Yeah.
I love the expansiveness of that right now because the problems seem overwhelmingly huge in many levels, in many ways right now. And when we have an expanded psychology, then it's up to the task. You know, when we say, okay, I'm stepping into this from a place that knows no limitations. So yes, the problems are huge, but you know, my source is infinite. And so it's okay that the problems are huge.
Yeah.
And I'm not clogged up with this heavy addiction that is keeping me from being able to move. What a gift.
Yeah. When we are in active addiction, so much happens. I mean, the way you phrased it, keeping us from being able to move, because the only thing that's on our mind is more of whatever substance we're addicted to.
Yeah, that takes a lot of space.
Yeah, our whole goal in life is got to get more of that. And so we will do anything in order to get more of that, whatever it is. And so it changes how we show up in life.
Yeah.
When we're no longer in active addiction.
I love that you shared that. I feel like that is what so many of us need to really take in right now. Because we can have been in that addiction, whatever it is, for so long that we forget there's a different way to be. I mean, you said that in your story, you were there for 20 years. So,
or we never learned in the first place that it's an addiction because everybody in my life drank and used the way I did.
really?
I did not know any different way of living. So when I got sober, all of a sudden, I'm pushing back against a family that drank and used the way I did, or exercise some other forms, because alcoholism and addiction is a family disease. And sometimes the family unit, they don't drink or do drugs, but they get it real heavily. They are the best examples of codependency that I have ever seen in my entire life. The addiction can manifest as different forms. And so I was pushing up against a biological family unit that manifested addiction in different ways. And in my recovery, when I pushed up against them, they resisted. Except my mom did not resist. So she was an interesting character. I love my mom. She was a character. She was just a character. Smart, sarcastic, beautiful, and addicted. And when I got sober, she decided to stop drinking and stop using street drugs, but she kept using prescription meds. And she continued to use prescription meds until the day she died. She never really got over or beyond her addiction, but she tried. She tried.
And do you feel like she sloughed off some of the heavy stuff that was taking space? Did you feel like more of her light was present in her after you became sober?
Well, our relationship certainly improved. But we had a couple of those talks, We had a
Mhm.
couple of those. And I set some boundaries, and bless her heart, she honored them
Oh, good.
because she was also verbally abusive in her addiction. And I said, don't say things like that to me anymore. It hurts. And she said, "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again." And she never did.
Wow,
She
that's
never.
amazing.
And then when I work with people, I say, you got to let them know how you're feeling, not in a blaming way, not in a you statement, but this is how I feel, and give and ask. And that's what I did with her. And bless her heart, she honored it. And I know that she was able to open up enough to start questioning things by the time she died, but she was so young
Mm.
when she died. She never dealt with her own grief from the stuff that had happened to her in her life. She never got to a place of forgiveness. She never healed, and it killed her eventually. I believe she died of a broken heart
Mhm.
that she
I
never
believe it.
healed. Yeah, and but she was questioning at the end there. Yeah.
Did you know or have any expectation when you yourself chose sobriety that she would move that direction in response to you?
No, and sobriety was not a choice for me, not in the beginning.
Mhm.
Just a FYI. It was pretty early on in the process, but it wasn't in the beginning.
Mhm.
But I showed up to treatment because I wasn't working. I had no friends left. My family threatened to disown me if I didn't get some help. And I was hungry.
Mhm.
I was hungry for food. I mean,
Sure.
literally, I was hungry and puzzled. And
Mm.
honestly thought that I was clinically crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Terrifying.
I didn't think I had an alcohol problem. I thought I was crazy. I thought I was nuts. And by the way, acronym for nuts, not understanding true self.
I like that.
Yeah, and I was so not prepared to quit drinking. I was like, excuse me, but that is not my issue. My issue is you. And, if you just leave me alone and
Mhm.
let me go do what I need to do, life would be just fine.
That's very familiar. Mhm.
Yeah. So early on, somewhere in the first or second week, some stuff started to happen to me inside of me. And I started to get a glimpse of what sober living could look like. My little willingness button was turned on. And that was all it took.
Mm.
That was all it took. So if people are experiencing addiction or alcoholism, call it whatever you want, willingness is all it really takes.
Mm.
There doesn't need to be an understanding of what God is or is not. There doesn't need to be an understanding of what's going on. There doesn't need to be an expectation of the future or anyone in your life. Just to be willing to be open to any new ideas that might be being presented.
Sure. Like, I'm willing for things to be better.
Yeah. And I was. And what that little tiny bit of willingness did for me was basically the first step in recovery. And as soon as I did that first step and incorporated that into my consciousness, the desire to drink and use went away. I had no more desire because alcoholics and addicts are actually quite strong people. If we want something, we're going to get it.
Mhm.
So if I still wanted to drink and use, I would have found a way to do it.
Mhm.
I no longer wanted it, and I don't want it to this day. And
Mm.
that's the beauty of recovery is when you stop wanting it. And there were a couple little episodes in early recovery when I got out of treatment where I wanted it. Thank God I had a support group in place. For example, I was watching a movie and there were three women who were really close friends drinking at a bar and just enjoying themselves in their friendship.
Mhm.
I didn't have that. I was lonely. I
Mm.
didn't yet understand the concept that you can't be lonely if you have a connection with a God of your understanding.
Mhm.
Loneliness is not about your relationship with other people. It's about your relationship with God. Anyway, I was really lonely and I wanted that fellowship that they had. And I wanted to drink because they were drinking.
Mhm.
So I called up the counselor at the treatment center because I didn't have any people in my life yet. And I said, I want to drink. And he said, why? And I said, well, I'm watching this movie and there's these women drinking. And it just triggered me. And he said, honey, you're not triggered. He said, and you don't really want to drink. What you really want is the fellowship.
Mhm.
And I went, oh, okay. And the desire to drink went away, and off I trotted to an AA meeting and started getting involved in this fellowship.
Yes, it's so good to feel welcomed, to feel like I belong. I belong.
Yes, and that's, you were talking about the belonging in centers for spiritual living, and that definitely goes on, but it happens in the 12-step rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous as well.
Yeah.
There we are loved unconditionally,
Mhm.
and people, they don't care if we stink. They don't care if we're trembling so bad that they give us a cup of coffee and they only fill it up halfway so we don't spill our coffee. They,
Mhm.
they don't care about our past. They don't care if we're fresh out of prison with a felony record. They don't care about any of that. They just want us to get into recovery.
Yes.
That's all they want.
So the person that each one is can just
Yeah.
be who they are.
Yes. Yeah.
Ah, well, I'm so glad that you made that choice way back when and that you stayed the course. You did call the counselor when
I
you
did.
were feeling what you thought was a desire to drink, and that he
Yes.
was wise enough to say, nope, that's the story. The truth is, you just want to feel like you belong.
I just want some people in my life because nobody was good to me at the time.
Yeah, we're only human. But yes. Yeah, we need that. And whether we feel we're struggling with addiction at this moment or not, I heard an interview the other day talking about the power of community, and that right now, where we are seeing things so much on a daily basis of people being dehumanized, that if we don't somehow place ourselves in community, it will exponentially increase our suffering. Just really underlining the importance of being in community.
Yeah. Yeah.
That community piece is absolutely essential.
It is essential. Yeah. And you don't have to be in active addiction to want to be in community or to seek out community or to be accepted in a community.
Right.
And some of the centers for spiritual living that I am in contact with, and there's actually quite a few, many of them are experiencing a lot of growth right now because people don't know what to do with all of these feelings that they're experiencing as a result of what's going on out there. And they're frightened and they're uncertain. And you talked about reactivity. Yeah, they're reactive and all that stuff. And so they're coming into the churches and they're getting some relief there.
That's wonderful. I know there are a lot of people who have a stereotype of churchy people equal, something negative to them. And so they just won't go. They'd rather be taken to the hospital than go to an AA meeting. And it saddens me to witness this. And I hope that somehow, maybe through this podcast in any which way we can just turn the light on and turn the lantern up a little bit to say it's okay to be human, And this is part of the human experience. When scary things happen, we feel scared. That's all.
Yep.
And sometimes I may be a brave person to help someone who feels scared. And the next time I could be the scared person and someone else is brave for me. And that's a blessing to be on either side, giving or receiving.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And that's all. I particularly like Centers for Spiritual Living and Unity churches and a variety of other spiritual communities. Any place where you can go and feel accepted as you. And there's no pressure to change who you are, anything about you. You can just go and relax. That's a good place to be in these times. Whatever it looks like. It could be spiritual, not spiritual. There's a wisdom there also. And I feel like the more we can feel into what our bodies are feeling, the better off we are, because we'll find ourselves in some situations where, I can be here, but I don't like what they're doing. It doesn't feel good. My stomach is a little bit of a quease here, or feeling a little tense. Well, we can listen to our bodies and say, oh, yeah, it would be good to be with people, but
not these people. Yeah. And our bodies are very wise, and we can trust those messages and hopefully listen to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if we're with people who are like, yeah, we like to listen to our bodies too, all the better. We can get together and listen to our bodies together,
Yeah.
or learn a little bit more and, and just have more space for grace.
Yeah.
It's a really good thing. So let's see, you were sharing your first book. Okay.
Second was the autobiography. I don't need to talk about that anymore. It's there. It's available on Amazon or through me, a print copy anyway. Digital, you have to go to Amazon. But this first book, New Thought Journey Through the 12 Steps, just today, I started writing a revised, expanded second edition of this book because it's been out for 10 years now.
Oh,
Yeah. So
wow.
almost 11. So just today, so this is hot off the press, guys. First public announcement. Just today, I started working on an expanded edition of that. The reason I started working on expanded edition is because my third book, which is called How to Live Fearlessly Feral, is complete. It is in the process of being uploaded to the publisher as we speak.
High five.
I'm pretty excited about that one.
Yeah.
So the first book is all about principles and mostly about practices, the 12 steps interpreted through a new thought lens.
Yes.
The third book is a list of practices and their descriptions, and a list of principles and their descriptions. Principles are things like love, oneness. We talked a little bit about oneness earlier. That's a principle. And then the third part of the book is where the magic happens, because anybody can write about principles. The third part of the book, I've never seen this done before. It's a set of monthly guides. Each month takes a principle that I've talked about and a practice that I've mentioned in the book, and it provides concrete, practical steps to take a deep dive into both principle and the practice, and they're kind of interwoven, they mesh, so that by the end of the month, whoever has done that work is now living, embodying that principle.
Wow.
They're actually applying that principle in their life instead of just verbalizing it, saying, oh yeah, I believe in unconditional love. And then they go out and hate their neighbor for voting differently than they did.
Yeah. None of that going on right now.
So they learn how to actually be love.
Yes.
And I recently looked up the word embody because I came to a realization that a lot of folks don't really know what embody means. It means to give concrete form to.
Mm.
Yeah. And I do that with each principle and each practice for 12 whole months.
It sounds like a book that is geared in a very doable, practical way for someone who cares about growing. Really not just knowing more, but being more
Being more.
in their lives, in
I
their relationships.
I think it's more about someone who, not just about growing all the way, it will have that effect, but it's about being happier in life, living even more successfully than one already lives.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess growing's a part of that. But so many people get activated by the word growth because then they think, well, am I a little kid? Am I immature? Do I not? Yeah. So I try to clarify that. No, it means you're just fine where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
And there's more.
Yeah, maybe it would be more clear if I had said growing in our experience of this thing called life, to grow in my experience of happiness, as you were saying. That might feel more comfortable for me than, if you said, well, hey, you need to grow. Here, read my book.
No, we could grow from the things offered in the new book, but mostly it's about just living better, living happier, living more joyously, living full on, feeling like we are no longer victims, feeling like we are at choice in life, feeling like I've got this. And I think in these times, most important of all, being able to live at peace, no matter how much unlike peace is going on out there in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being the eye of the hurricane.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you're describing your new book, I love the metaphor of food.
Uh-huh.
So it sounds like you've invited me for dinner, and there's a really nice table set and candlelight, whatnot, everything is set. And so you say, okay, here's the noodles. My mom used to love noodles. And you use the best ingredients, and these are really special noodles, and I hand crank them, and here they are. And here's the sauce that's been simmering all day, and it's fresh. I remember you getting all the tomatoes from the farm stand, all this and here, and not just any tomatoes, but these tomatoes. And so here's this beautiful sauce, and it's steamy, and here's these perfect noodles. And then here's this big bowl in front of me. And you say, okay, all you need to do is put whatever noodles you'd like in the bowl, and here's the sauce. And all you need to do is put it together and enjoy. It's so simple. So I don't know, of course, maybe I'm a little hungry right now, but it sounds like you've given us all the ingredients to have a delicious experience through this book. Everything that we need is there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The perfect analogy. Yeah. Perfect. Yep.
And the way that I know you put everything out there, the blog with your writing, that it's probably impossible to be simpler, you know, and yet the content is all there.
Uh-huh.
The ingredients are pristine, but there's not like 3,800 ingredients. The ingredients that are there are the necessary ingredients, and they are of the highest quality. They are so fresh and delicious. That is what I know of you and how you offer what you offer. There are surprises. There are always surprises with you, but they're really good surprises, you know?
You are not the first person that has said that recently. And I'm like, really? Okay, let me think about that.
I mean, it's part of having a freshness. You're not an out of the can person. And so what you offer isn't out of the can. It's fresh. I appreciate that you're so willing, and you're very focused in how you bring forth what you offer. It's very, very purposeful. There is a focus, and something interesting that I've noticed about you that I feel is kind of unique, and I find it inspiring. If it's not your time to do something, you don't do it. And there are not a lot of people who move that way. A lot of us will say, oh, I do this every week, and I don't feel like doing it this week, but I'm just going to do it anyway. It's ingrained in us. We do this. This is who I am. This is what I do. But that is a story, after all. Who we are is not what we do. And so I love how you embody as a human in this life. If you feel like, yeah, I've got a blog, but you know what? I don't feel like it's my time to write in the blog right now. I'm hibernating. Yeah, I think I remember you saying that once.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, wow, you mean I don't have to write in my blog every week? Oh, well, she's had a blog longer than me, and she doesn't do it every week. So.
I don't do a podcast every week either. I'm like, oh, I don't feel like it right now. Nothing's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not going to do it. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's not to say, oh, I need an excuse to be lazy. You know, that's not what we're talking about. This time that we are living in is calling for the highest and the best that we can offer from being our fullest self.
Yeah.
And I like that you do that.
Well, thank you.
It inspires me to be more that way myself.
Oh, good.
So I would like it if you gave everybody permission to be that way also.
I give all of you permission to love yourself absolutely, unconditionally, and I'm going to sneeze, maybe not, to love yourself absolutely and unconditionally, and it's okay. You don't need to push yourself. Just accept and love what is, and if you don't feel like writing or podcasting or exercising or eating healthy, once in a while on the eating healthy thing and the exercise, just be gentle with yourself. Be gentle. You deserve it.
Yes. Whatever is really loving. And if you'd like to seal that with a sneeze, you certainly can.
Or it went away. It went
Oh,
away. I had to move a bale of hay this morning,
mm.
and I've been sneezing all day long because it was really a dusty bale. And when I moved it down, I saw all that dust coming up, and I went, "Oh no!"
Oh, boy.
Yeah, there it is. There's all that dust coming up. Yep.
Well, thank you for showing up, even with all the dust that you inhaled from that bale of hay. I know as a musician, sometimes I have sneezed at the most inopportune
Oh, I know.
moments.
Yeah,
Right into the microphone.
I know. And that's actually another opportunity to be gentle and kind to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Because that's a natural human thing, those sneezes. And that's body saying, excuse me, but I got to get rid of some stuff here.
Ready or not, here I come.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm so grateful to have you in this conversation.
Me too.
There's so many things that I'd love to talk about in the future with you. One of those, you were over, I think you were having lunch with us a while back, and you mentioned something that I thought, oh, that feels like it would be so helpful for so many of us right now. And I think it had something to do with codependency and how that affects the way we navigate through the kind of times that we've been having. I don't know if I'm remembering that quite right, but you said it in such a way, and I said, oh, wow, that's something that I haven't heard a lot of. And I'm sure that many of us are being affected in ways that we're not aware of. And it's just something that is in a dusty closet within ourselves that needs to be sneezed out. That's all. So yeah, at some point I'll be catching up with myself and catch up with you again. And I'd love to have that conversation. And in the meantime, I also want to ask you, a lot of times we like to offer listeners and readers bonus content from our guests. Is there just anything off the cuff that you can think of that you'd like listeners to be able to receive, just to learn a little bit more of what you're offering, or something that we've talked about that might be helpful to have in their back pocket from you?
You know what just came to me is I would be willing to send them the month of January out of the new book so they could look at it and see if that's something that they would appreciate.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I'd like that. That'd be a great way to start the new year,
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Yeah. It'd have to be via email.
Yep.
That was the format it would come in. So have them email me and
Yeah, that'd be great. Or they could come through me as well. What's your email address?
KarenLinsley.com. And I'll repeat that because it's kind of long. It's Karen at KarenLinsley.com. Karen at KarenLinsley.com.
Beautiful. So they can connect with you directly. If they want to connect through We Be the Change, they can go to songrise.live, Live. At the bottom of each page on that website is the opportunity to connect and just say Karen bonus or January bonus, and we can get that sent.
Okay.
That sounds wonderful.
And
So any questions or thoughts or comments, we welcome those. If anybody wants to speak with you directly. Hey, and if anybody's in Northern Nevada and wants to get married, give me a call.
Yeah.
You have a lot of years of experience with that as well, I know.
Lots of stories in that one.
I know, I see pictures.
Yeah.
And you have a unique niche with the couples getting married that is just so delightful. Each one is just beautiful.
I have a lot of fun with my weddings. Yeah. So I'm on Substack as well as Facebook. And Substack, I think it's easier to find me if you look up Fearlessly Feral Living. And then I have a little story to close with about one of my latest wedding couples.
Yes.
So I get a call at 7:30 at night last Thursday. I did not take the call because I have boundaries. I was busy and my evenings are kind of my own. I mean, I do a lot of stuff, but I have sacred time and my evenings are kind of my sacred time. So I let it go to voicemail. When I got up the next morning, I listened to the voicemail, and it was from a lady, and they wanted to get married right away. Well, right away can mean different things. It can mean now, or in a week, or in 2 months. It depends on the people. So I call her back and I say, I understand you want to get married right away. And she said, yeah, do you have any availability today? And I'm like, well, sure. And I was doing a wedding that afternoon.
Uh-huh.
So I scheduled her in, and I gave her a choice. She could meet me before the wedding I already had or after the wedding I already had. So I didn't have to drive out there twice.
Yeah.
And she took the before slot. This couple shows up. Turns out he is 91 years old. She is 84, and they've been together for 8 years. And, the groom says, well, I'm not getting any younger. I might die soon. We need to get married. And I'm like, okay,
Today.
we need to get married today. They already had their wedding license. They were ready to go. They were prepared. They brought their witness with them. It was their daughter, who was actually their chauffeur because they're both too old to drive anymore. So they drove up from Camino to Lake Tahoe. And so we did the wedding, and bless their hearts, they both cried during the ceremony. Now, these are people with a lot of life behind them. Both of them widows. There's a lot of life there, and they both cried during the ceremony. And I almost cried. I'm like, oh my God. And I hardly ever cry anymore because I've done literally thousands of these weddings.
Yeah.
And when it was all done and I pronounced them husband and wife, the groom would not let go of her. He just kept hugging her and hugging her and hugging her. And it was like she was his lifeline, I think. And she finally said, it's okay. It's okay, George. You can let go of me now. It's okay. And he finally let go. And okay, fine. We're out of here. Bye. See you later. I mean, it was that quick. They were, boom, God, out of here. Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, what the groom said was, yeah, I guess I better stop hugging you now because I really have to go pee.
Yep.
And yeah, when you get that age, it's like, you got to go, you got to go. And
Well, all the elements right there. Talk about embodiment, right?
yeah, I got to
Fully human.
You go pee.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
fully human experience of getting married. Oh,
Yeah,
I love that. Oh,
Wonderful. Yeah. So,
yeah. And that tells me that life can be juicy right up to when it's time to pass through the veil.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this series, A Fearlessly Feral Life with Karen Lindsley. I'm grateful for Karen's openness in sharing her recovery journey with us. Our meaty conversation included new thought, boundaries, willingness, healing communities, and other aspects of a fearlessly feral life. What are your thoughts on finding peace and belonging and self-trust on the sober path? Remember Karen's offer to you of a guide from her new book, How to Live Fearlessly Feral. And you can also receive in your inbox your free guide, Out of Your Head into Your Light, by just typing GIFTS on the simple form at the bottom of any page on songrise.live, songrise.live. The next time you notice a reactive thought, consider how you might wish to reframe it while taking a pause for a deep breath, remembering to cherish the one-of-a-kind treasure you are. This is Colleen Akiko, your We Be the Change host. Keep your high beams on. See you next time.